It's Wednesday, April 12th, and we're here to get you over that hump. That's what we do. We get you through the week, Monday through Friday, every day till it's the weekend, and then you don't need us anymore because it's the weekend. You don't have to work. You can go have fun, live a life. I got a problem. I'm hearing my own voice. I know why. Because I opened the YouTube window earlier, messing around with some new stuff. Let me fix that. All right, I'm gonna add Doug into the Instagram. Sorry for the quiet moments. Okay, cool, good. I think I'm all sorted out here. All right, if you're on Instagram, don't forget we do this on YouTube. It's better there, youtube.com/NoMeatAthlete. We are sponsored / presented by Compliment, which is our supplement / compliment company. Sort of taboo around the company, around the workplace to call it a supplement. It's a compliment as far as we're concerned. Doug, how are you doing today?
I am just doing great, getting ready to get over that hump, Matt.
That's right. That's what we're doing today.
Working my way up the hill. We're gonna hump right over it.
Well, we're not gonna do any humping.
Hop right over the hump.
Okay.
How about that?
All right, good. All right. How are you feeling, Doug? After now, 48, almost, well, not 72 yet, but 60 hours removed from any alcoholic beverages. How are you doing?
I'm feeling good. I slept much better last night than I did the night before.
Yep.
I'm feeling pretty good. I gotta say, yesterday it was a beautiful day in North Carolina. I mowed the lawn and then we sat out and played outside for a while after work. And I really wanted a drink, and I didn't think through. I really wanted a beer, and I didn't think through this challenge enough to stock up on some non-alcoholic beers
right
ahead of time. So I have a question for you. I'd love your opinion here.
Okay.
Your judgment call.
All right, go for it. What do you got?
Over the weekend, I was talking to somebody about the challenge, and they suggested that their go-to non-alcoholic drink at a bar is like sparkling water or soda with a couple dashes of bitters and a wedge of lime.
Okay.
And I was like, I have all that stuff in the house. Do bitters count? Do bitters count as alcohol?
Are they alcoholic in some way?
Yeah, I think they're like 40 proof or whatever, but you just do little dashes of it. So, you can get it at the grocery store.
Yeah, I'd say that totally counts as alcohol. I wouldn't.
You think that counts as alcohol?
I do, and I don't know why. It's really not. It's probably like with a non-alcoholic beer, if that is actually 0.5%, which is the maximum I think allowable that it would be. And I suspect that they're not that high. I really think they probably put that as a protective thing and they're way under it. That'd be my guess. I don't know. But yeah, the actual amount of alcohol then is probably comparable to a dash of bitters or so. So I don't know why it's different to me. But it's just it's a purely alcoholic ingredient you're adding. I don't know. Seems like cheating.
Mr. Jeffrey says it's less alcohol than a kombucha.
He might mean the beer. I don't know. The non-alcoholic beer.
No, I think he's talking about the bitters. You should clarify. But I'm gonna say it doesn't count.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet. So, if everyone here disagrees with me, then I'm good for it. But you don't have to. I don't even think you have to be 21 to buy it. You definitely don't have to.
Okay.
And they serve it at grocery store, or you can buy it at grocery stores, not liquor stores, even though it's a higher proof.
You know what? I never ever buy like mixing stuff, but I did on Christmas because my in-laws were coming and I wanted to have their drinks there. And I went to the liquor store and they didn't even they had bitters. I mean, I didn't know what even bitters were. I had to ask where you get them, what they are. They said we don't really sell them anymore, but we still have these couple little bottles. And I was like, why don't you sell them anymore? We're not allowed. We have to start because they're like a food basically. They have to be in the grocery store. They can't be in the liquor store.
Yeah,
at least in South Carolina. So that's a pretty strong argument. Not allowed to be sold in the liquor store.
So okay. So are you changing your tune?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go with what the collective group think here is.
I don't think it really matters. I mean, whether it's cheating or not, it doesn't make a difference. It's not gonna. But then I don't know. You're right. Non-alcoholic beers they're no better. I don't think so. I don't know. And I've been relying on those.
Okay.
Anyway, people can let us know what they think.
How was your 60-hour mark? How are you doing?
Oh, good. I had a little bit of a lodge life last night, and then I didn't want to have a whole one of those because it was just like too much of a warm weather. That's Athletic Brewing's non-alcoholic. It's like I don't know what it is, porter type thing, ESB. I don't know. But then, so I was waiting for a hazy IPA to get cold, a Bravus Brewing hazy IPA. That's why I only had a little bit of the Lodge Life. So then I mostly had that Bravus hazy, and it was very good, and it was fine. I don't know, moments like that. I don't miss the alcohol. It's because I don't really care about beer. I miss having wine with dinner. That's I don't like that. I don't like not having that.
You don't like not having that, yeah.
Yeah, but it was fine, and it feels good to go to bed, knowing that I'm because we've talked about this a lot of times, but like I'll end up if we open a bottle of wine on a night, I'll have a glass, then I'll have another glass after dinner, and hopefully there's small glasses, and I'm not automatically getting 2 drinks there like that. But I'll end up sort of having that, like, and that'll just be like my entertainment for the night. Is I'll have that and put on a TV show. I won't really be motivated to do anything. Whereas if I don't, it's like I search for something to do. So I end up doing a bunch of reading and stuff like that. I actually went to Barnes & Noble yesterday after we talked about it and got this book, Peter Attia's Outlive, which is a new one, just came out a week ago. So that was fun. I did not get the sandwich there, the Just Egg thing.
Why not? Was it there? Did you check and see?
I didn't even look. I'm just not interested in eating eggs. I don't know. I don't want an egg sandwich, even a vegan one. Doesn't seem good. So I didn't look, but got that. So I did some reading last night. That was nice. And I don't know. I do like that part of it. That always happens when I don't drink, because I search for activities to do in the evening instead of having a glass of wine, and it's good.
Yeah.
All right. A couple more people are saying, are you going? I think Sydney says, are you going for perfection or just progress? Right. And that was, I think, yesterday. We said it's not about perfection. It's about progress. So, but I mean, you still try to be perfect during the challenge.
Yeah, I do want to be perfect in the challenge, but like, to me, semantics of like a kombucha that has a little bit of alcohol or a non-alcoholic beer that has a little bit of alcohol, like that doesn't really matter to me. I'm not going to have a drink, right? And I don't want to have a drink. I don't want to have multiple drinks. But I think if it's essentially non-alcoholic, I think I'm okay with it. But I do want to be perfect, and I want to do the challenge correctly. So I don't know. Somebody on Instagram, let's see, Meta Veggie says that no. Ramalama Ding Dong says, how old do you have to be to buy bitters? If it's 21, then it counts. I just Googled it, and I don't know how much we can trust Google here, but it says you don't need to be 21 to buy them. Which would be a pretty strong argument as to why it doesn't count. I don't know if that's true in all states, though.
Yeah, I know you have endless faith in the government, so whatever the government says counts as a drink counts for Doug if it's alcohol or not.
That's right.
All right. Well, Sydney T, this is her first show, or maybe his. I think it's hers. First show. Their first show. Mr. Jeffrey says that, and I guess they're walking their dog or doing a workout or something, so they were worried about having some connection issues. But they say bitters, gas, alcohol. So it depends on what your goals with the challenge are. Are you trying to challenge yourself mentally, or just hold progress and abstaining from alcohol to get away from the negative impact? So I guess, that's kind of the question. Like, are you trying to make it really tough and see if you can do something, or are you just trying to give your body a break from alcohol? Because negligible amount probably doesn't make any difference as far as your body goes.
Yeah.
And Mr. Jeffrey says, my dedication to the show is lacking because I didn't get the sandwich yesterday. Yeah, that's kind of true. It is.
Or at least even check, man. You could
I didn't
at
even
least
check. I know. You're right.
Checked.
I turned a corner with these ultra processed foods. I don't know what it is. I've just lost interest in them. Even if it was like a good vegan chorizo sandwich, I would have just not been interested. I don't think. I don't know. Just I don't know what's going on.
But you're doing your part to support Barnes and Noble, so that's that.
Yeah. Went in there, checked out the book, saw it, leaf through, sat in the chair, and then I ordered it on Amazon next day delivery so that I got it and that high price. No, I actually bought it there. I supported them with the business card, of course. All right. So I wanted to say one more thing, Doug, is that last night I saw that Bianca made she made a lentil-aroni, because we've been talking about that from Isa Does It. Mm-hmm. We made from Appetite for Reduction. I think I may have said the same thing last week or two. I don't know. Again, 2 days in a row of Mexican foods, just like the Hay household. We had her black bean, zucchini, calamari olive tacos, which are really good. It's a great,
That's great.
From Appetite for Reduction, which is an underappreciated Isa Moskowitz book.
So anyway, a hard shell or soft shell taco?
Soft shell, just soft shell corn tortilla, heated in the cast iron pan.
Nice.
It was good. Hit the spot. Yes.
Great.
All right, so that's that. Anything else, Doug, to catch up on before we jump into the weather report?
I don't think so. Nothing's coming to mind.
Okay. Well, then let me pull up the music here, and we will jump in. All right, here we go. Some stats. This is from Veg News, but other people are saying it too. Retail sales of plant-based foods hit $8 billion in 2022. That's a high. It grew from 2019 to 20. It grew 28% almost, which is huge. I think that might have had to do with the COVID and the Impossible Meat and Beyond Meat boom. But since then, it's been at a steady 13% to its $8 billion. I think last year it may have actually, this most recent year, I think it was more like 7%. So I don't know how steady that growth is, and inflation, is a major factor in here because that's barely keeping up with inflation. So anyway, for what it's worth, plant-based foods are selling more than they ever have, so that's a good thing.
That's still stop the music. We're not over yet. It still is weird to me that like we're talking about processed foods that are labeled plant-based, right? And this not vegetables.
Yeah.
And beans.
I know. It's backwards.
It is backwards. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
I didn't get the second part of the stat, by the way, which is not from Veg News, but it's based on the same research or same report from the Good Food Institute and the Plant-Based Foods Association. And that's the number of Americans consuming plant-based foods increased to 70% in the past year. And several plant-based creamers and eggs, or several categories like plant-based creamers and eggs, saw markedly strong growth last year. So 70% of Americans are consuming plant-based foods, which in this case, let's hope that doesn't mean vegetables and fruits, because that would mean 30% of people aren't eating those, which is possible. I mean, it wouldn't be the most surprising thing I've ever heard. But yeah, it is weird that it's like those things aren't even considered plant-based foods because they're just fruits and vegetables.
I love seeing egg, seeing growth.
Yeah, I know you do. All right, the Belgian startup, speaking of plant-based foods, has said that it's added mammoth DNA to a plant-based burger. This from Plant-Based News to make it more intense and meatier than a traditional cow version. They did it with precision fermentation and did it using myoglobins. They created them using short DNA sequences taken from a 1.2 million year old fossil from some paleogenic center. If this sounds familiar, it should, because Val, an Australian company, they made the mammoth meatball a few weeks ago. We talked about that one. This time, though, this company, Paleo, that made this, they actually ate their creation. They actually ate this thing. They weren't worried about whatever harm might be caused by eating something we're not evolved to eat. Although maybe we are. Mammoths went extinct 4,000 years ago. So you got to figure some of the we haven't evolved too far past that yet physically. So anyway, it seems like nobody died or anything when they ate this mammoth meat. But they're a B2B company, so they're not just going to start selling these mammoth burgers. They're going to hope somebody wants to buy them, I guess. And then they'll sell them.
I don't know about this. I
mean, it
has to be a gimmick, right? I mean, like you could add some sort of precision fermented beef, fermented beef or something like that, and it wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, like why do we want it to be mammoth DNA?
Paleo. You gotta get the real paleo.
Yeah, but it's a veggie burger. like there's nothing paleo about a veggie burger.
Well, yeah. Apparently, they've also done many other things too. I don't know if I have it in the weather report, but they've also done a bunch of other meats that they've precision fermented and created their protein. So this is kind of, I mean, we haven't really seen the precision fermentation making meats yet. That's sort of new. We've seen it with the dairy and the whey protein. I didn't really know it was possible to do it with meat protein. So I guess it's good. Oh yeah, they created proteins found in beef, pork, lamb, tuna, as well as mammoth. So interesting that it's like kind of old news, like that someone made a mammoth meat product.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like the creativity is gone, right? I mean, just like you gotta go further back. You gotta go to the dinosaurs. I want a T-Rex. I want a T-Rex meatball, and then we can talk. Then it's newsworthy.
If they had dinosaur meat, I'd be really curious about trying that.
Oh, you would you?
I mean, the whole species is extinct, so you're not telling me you're hurting any dinosaurs by making this.
Yeah.
I guess unless you're bringing them back to life and then killing them, but yeah, I'd kind of be curious with that one.
I don't know about dinosaur meat.
All right, so that's all we got for the weather report. Not too much going on there. Yeah, should we jump into our article then? It's fitness habits. It's fitness article. I was sick about talking about plant-based fake meats and things, so I picked out a fitness article today. For my part, I did a nice squat workout yesterday after taking a day off of the squats.
Oh yeah, how did that go?
It was very good. I'm up to the heavy part of the program now, where I'm doing 3 sets of 3 instead of the typical 5 sets of 5 because the weight's getting higher, and I was able to do it without any pain. So that was a big win. But nonetheless, I have another therapy appointment scheduled, and we'll see. But I don't know. I'm just loving that stuff. That squat rack in the gym or in the garage has really been a great investment. I mean, it's only 4 months in, but I've loved not having to like go to the gym in order to do a full workout like that, not have to wait in line, not have to drive there. It's really nice. Open the garage door and just put on some tunes.
Yep,
it's nice. I'm digging it.
Well, in my part, I did I think some very sustainable exercises. I went for a run in the morning. I did a harder than normal focused pull-out workout for about 20 minutes, and then a bunch of sit-ups and push-ups. So
good.
That's a good, well-rounded day for me in the fitness department.
And it's only 11 o'clock.
No, it was yesterday. Today I haven't done anything. I did some pull-ups, but that's about it.
All right, good. Maybe the non-alcohol challenge is giving you a little extra motivation, energy, all that stuff. We'll see. Maybe. I'm curious to see if that happens. I think that I'm very excited about like getting to next week and seeing how.
All the marketing material for the challenge kept saying I was going to have more energy.
I saw that. It said I was going to wake up in the morning like ready to take on the day.
Ready to take on, motivated, full motive. You get your and I might have had something to do with that language. So so I better come true.
You know what? I actually yesterday. See, this is maybe a consequence of the alcohol thing. Or maybe it's a consequence of thinking about writing a new book, which I don't know. Have I said that here, Doug, or just to you?
Maybe no, that's breaking news.
I mean, it's such early stages that I can't even call it breaking news. But I was listening to Andrew Huberman's alcohol podcast, the one that it's like infamous for making people feel bad about drinking. It like talks about how bad it is. It's 2 hours long. So I was listening to that during my son's soccer practice, and I always associate alcohol with cancer risk. Like that's like the reason that I think I should drink less than I do is like I just don't want to have increased cancer risk. And there are some cancers it does substantially increase your risk. But the podcast in the first, I don't know, probably hour that I've been at, he barely touches cancer. He's talking about your brain, myelin decaying and this stuff like just this sort of, he doesn't say it will make you depressed. But the idea that any sort of habitual drinking, even if it's just like a once a week, but it's an actual habit, and you do it consistently once a week, that it will like just lead to more impulsive behaviors, lead to a little bit less ability to regulate some with decision making. I forget the specifics of it, but a lot of like brain stuff that I just hadn't really ever considered as much of the downside. Oh, increase your cortisol levels just all the time. Even several days after having the last drinks, your cortisol levels will stay high, which means higher stress and quicker stress responses to things. So like there's a ton of brain stuff that goes on. And of course, that's why it impacts sleep. But I don't know. It made me think that.
How did that impact you?
How did it impact me when?
Like listening to it.
Because it made me think that this mood thing that people report, and then I've definitely noticed, and like you said, in this marketing materials, if you wake up the next day and you're every day, and you're motivated and excited, like there's this general positivity. Like I think alcohol just might make you, maybe that's why I'm so curmudgeonly, is because of my daily glass of wine or two. I don't know. I think
you stop. Turns out you're like A shining ray of sunshine.
What if the show like tanks once we stop this drinking because I don't have a curmudgeon character to play?
No edge anymore. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so did it make you want, like, I mean, obviously you're doing this challenge here, but did it if you weren't doing the challenge, would it have made you want to quit drinking?
No, it wouldn't have yet. I'm only an hour into it out of the 2 hours, so I've got to go further. I have not yet hit anything that makes me think what people have said about it. Like, oh, it just makes you feel bad about drinking forever after. I have not reached that point yet, but I don't know. I got to finish it and we'll see. It definitely would make me want to chill out a little bit, right? Like, I don't want to be gradually damaging my brain. That's
not through alcohol anyway.
Right. Yeah, something else. Nitrous at the dentist office. Then I'm
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I got another nitrous appointment coming up next week. I'm actually a little bit looking forward to it, believe it or not, in some weird way.
Wait. Does that disqualify you in the? I mean, it is a dry challenge, not a sober challenge, but it's a mind-altering substance there.
Well, so is caffeine, I think.
Oh yeah. You know what? What's kind of funny? Sorry, I know we're getting way off topic with the.
That's okay. We need to fill some time
here, so as I was reading, as I was looking at the show notes for today, one of the articles we have like saved away is around benefits of coffee, and and the last time we covered coffee, I was motivated to do like a no coffee challenge. I don't know if it was the last time, but we were talking about kind of the long-term effects of drinking coffee regularly, and that some of it can be negative. And anyway, I was kind of motivated to just give it up for a while, do something like this, 3 weeks with no coffee, see how that made me feel, do a little bit of a reset. And this morning, in the middle of 2 days into a dry challenge, I'm like, well, maybe I should do no coffee too, just like stack on these challenges.
Yep.
And ultimately, I decided that was a bad idea. That it'd be better if I just did one at a time. But maybe that was the no alcohol talking, the motivation there, like wanting to kind of keep improving myself.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's the vibes that I have gotten anytime before. And it's probably early to be feeling that way.
I know. It's like 48 hours. I've gone 48 hours with no alcohol many times in the life.
But I'll tell you what it is though. I think it's having in your head, and I was very, very soft on the commitment. I did not say I'm not doing this on weekends, but since then I've just like been in the mindset that I'm not going to have any alcohol for 3 weeks.
Okay.
Including, and I'm not positive it'll last. Like I said, I'm afraid to commit, honestly. But I think like as soon as you establish that in your head, that like no longer is the goal now, get through the day so that I can have my glass of wine at the end of the day. Now I need something beyond that, something bigger. You start thinking about self-improvement, right? It's not just like make it to the end of the day and get my reward. It's like, I don't know, start investing in the future. So I really think it's possible. I don't know.
I mean, I will say that's probably related to anytime you're motivated about some sort of challenge or goal, right? I mean, same would be if I had just signed up for a race and had a training plan that I was working on, I would probably be excited about, I don't know, something else as well, eating better.
Yeah, true. Possible.
Sydney, there's some comments here. We got Sydney T over on YouTube says, I'm so much more irritable and less patient with my kids, even after just one drink. It was a very sad realization to come to that realization. And then Jill from Plant Powered Pantry says, not to mention that regulated dopamine levels, an ability for your body to reach homeostasis over time. So that was about the podcast, I think, or about the brain, what it does to your brain.
Right. Yeah. Jill may have been the one who said that it made her feel bad about alcohol. That particular podcast. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's talking about dopamine and serotonin, and this, like just this feeling of well-being that maybe alcohol prevents you from getting into. So anyway, I got to listen to more of that before I try to break down any of it. But yeah, interesting so far.
Before we move on, Miss Jeffrey says that there's something to be said for not always chasing being better. Eventually, we need to be happy with where we are and what we're maintaining. Yeah, we had a long conversation about that, a long podcast about what was it, improving ourselves to death or something.
Yeah, yep. We've had many long podcasts about that one in particular, but that's been a recurring theme of how do you be happy, and that for sure, that like there is something to be said for that. I don't know. I go through phases. Where I don't want any of that, and I just want to, be happy in the moment, and then I'm like, miss badly that feeling of improving and all that. So I don't know. For me, it seems like I got to swing back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just comment with this drinking challenge and stuff like that. And I mean, I definitely 100% agree with Mr. Jeffrey's note there. But I also think that it's good to challenge you, push yourself from time to time, and also these. I mean, there's a very, very little chance that I'm giving up alcohol after this. I'll go ahead and say that, but I think it's a fun, like, a little thing to see what happens and see how it feels and see where my what happens to my body.
Yeah. One of the mini conclusions I have drawn already, and this is just from the listening to that and the reading a little bit of this Outlive book, and actually doing a bunch of Googling. I was Googling just alcohol stats and things about, especially with the cancer risk thing. I just was curious yesterday about it. So much of it, like, at least for the stuff I have seen so far, and like I said, there's more for me to listen to and digest. It almost seems like it's just like your total amount of drinks, say in a week's time, that really matters. And they say, like, it, at least as far as the cancer risk goes, it doesn't matter whether you drink them all in one day or whether you do it a little bit at a time. And in some way, like, being an everyday, very mild drinker is perhaps more hard, because let's say I could drink 10 drinks in a week, typically, just if I have it on average, a drink and a half a day. If I put all my drinking in one night a week, I'm not gonna drink 10 drinks. There's no way. I mean, I'd pass out long before that. So it's almost more more harmful to be slowly giving yourself this little bit of poison rather than just once in a while. And so I was thinking about it because, like you, maybe not like you, but I'm wrestling with this because I really do enjoy having a glass of wine. Like, I enjoy learning about the wines, making the food that goes with it. Like, it would pain me to give that up. And so I was thinking, well, like, what if that was a weekend? What if that was one night a weekend only that I did that? And then I was thinking, what if it's even less? What if it's like once a month, but I have all that I could possibly want that night? I don't know. I could do that, I think. Then you still have this thing that's a joyful part of your life to look forward to. But most of the time you don't have it at all. Now, it wouldn't be fun to be hungover the next day. I don't want to ever feel that. It's terrible. But I don't know. I'm one and the same. I'm not planning to give it up at all, but I just wonder if a different way of doing it is better.
Yeah, and sometimes, like, habit interrupters like this may just be a great way to get out of the habit of a drink and a half a day, and even if you're still drinking 3 days a week instead of one a month, like you're saying,
it'd be way better,
right?
For sure, that'd be way better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good enough. So we'll continue that thing. We'll see how it's going. I've been considering a little, like, fast thing, like you. We're trying to stack a new habit onto it all of a sudden. Considering a dietary fast maybe next week or the next. I don't know. Partly because alcohol is my favorite part of eating. So if I'm not gonna have that, I might as well just cut out the rest of the food too, because that's the hardest part of the fast for me. Is not gonna have a glass of wine at the end of the day.
Oh, I don't know. It's a little bit sad, man. I don't know. It's because you're not eating joyful food like I am. No nachos, no
That
tacos.
might be true. Yeah, I mean, I don't. But I eat some joyful food. I really enjoy eating pasta. That is joyful for me.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to see how this goes. Who knows? It may not even make it.
Yeah, right. I may have a drink on Friday. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so let's get into our topic here today. This is Eat This, Not That. I just keep finding stuff from them. I know it's kind of a goofy site. Some of their stuff is easy to make fun of, but this is a fitness article. It's 9 fitness habits that are destroying your body before you reach 50. A lot of these are about after 50, it seems. And I figured if we find one that's before 50, that's going to maybe reach a different segment of the audience. Honestly, the advice is more or less the same, I think, as it would be if you were over 50. But I don't know. I wanted to talk about fitness. I'm tired of talking about ultra processed food and such. So we got a fitness thing. It's a bunch of tips. Spoiler alert, none of these are that crazy or controversial or anything, but I still think it's worth talking about. It'll get us talking about fitness. So let's run through some of these. Number 1, you are overtraining. You got to listen to your body, give it the rest it needs. They say if you're often fatigued during your workouts and outside the gym, you might be overtraining. And I kind of thought that, like, I don't know, I'm past that. Like, if I'm not training for some kind of race, like, I'm not going to be overtraining. But last week when I did all the it was like my peak week of the workout thing, and then we went to the climbing place in the whatever it's called, the Whitewater Center. I literally felt like I was overtraining for a couple of days. I was just hurting all the time up and down the stairs. Muscles were so sore. So I took a couple days where I went easy, and it was a good thing.
Yeah, but okay, I got a problem with this list already.
Okay.
So you're under 50, right? Your body is younger. I'm thinking maybe a 30-year-old is reading this list. Under 50, your body can repair and recover pretty quickly, right? If you followed this list, and then we haven't even gotten to a lot of them. If you follow this list, you'd never train for a 100-miler. You never train for a 50-mile. You never go to the gym and try to like get swole. I mean, you do the things that like young people do when they're excited about fitness that then sets them up for potentially long-term benefits, because they're getting habits established. They're pushing themselves a little bit. They're kind of reinventing what fitness means to them. So, I mean, I don't know, like, you're never supposed to overtrain. I mean, come on, like, there's plenty of times when I go on long runs and I can't walk properly the next day, and that feels, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Well, the headline is 7 or 9 fitness habits that are destroying your body. I think if you went out on the street and asked people, what's a sort of event thing you could do that would destroy your body? It seems like it's healthy, but it might be destroying your body. They'd say running a 100-miler, training for a 100-miler, making so you can't walk around the next day. I mean, I don't know. I honestly think ultramarathon running probably takes a toll on your body, and you could call that destroying your body.
Sure.
So I think they're arguing for not having that kind of stuff.
Well, okay. But what I'm saying is that there's a time and place for that, for overtraining. that I don't think that blanket overtraining is bad for your body long term. I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. I don't think, sure, if you're overtraining all the time, consistently overtraining, I think that is a problem. But if you go through a training program, like my very first marathon, man, it was like weeks that I couldn't. Every single long run was killing. I mean, it was just like destroying how I could walk the next day. But I mean, like, I pretty quickly adjusted from there, and now I can run those distances with no problem, and not be sore the next day. So, like, I think that kind of pushing yourself is not a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you, and I kind of don't, because I think at all phases of life, you're better off not running a marathon. You're better off, running 4 times a week for 40 minutes or something like that, and then doing some strength training aside from that. Like that's always going to be better than any event, running or not, that's extreme like that. So I mean, I think they're right. You are overtraining when you do that stuff, and you're doing more damage to your body probably than you need to be doing.
If you're a 20-year-old who can run 3 times a week for 40 minutes and go to the gym twice a week and do a little bit of light strength training and not expect to ever get really faster or go long distances or ever get, bulk up, and you're just kind of able to maintain a solid level of fitness from your 20s through your 80s, then more power to you. I agree that's probably better, but no one's doing that. No 20-year-olds doing that. No, even 30-year-olds doing that.
I think you're right. And where I wanted to go there was that, like, I do think there's a psychological side to this and like a habit side. And it's, like you just said, very, very hard to maintain that sort of habit without having something that's going to, require you to push. I also think that, like, a lot of we've talked about this, I think maybe on No Meat Athlete Radio, that I think some randomness in your lifestyle is a very good thing, and probably what we're evolved to handle, like eating, mostly good. And then, or long periods of, sort of austere, careful dieting. And then, the feast once every few weeks or whatever, rather than, I don't know, everything like the extreme would be high-tech solution that just drips the food into your bloodstream at exactly the equal rate throughout the day. I think we're much better equipped, and it's probably better for us to have some ups and downs in the way we eat. And so the same very well may go for training. And in fact, some of the guys that I read talk a lot about having these shocks once a month or so, like just a shock to your system with how hard something is. Now that doesn't necessarily, not the same as overtraining, but like going out and running that marathon or running that long run, once every few months to give yourself that really difficult challenge. Probably a good thing. It probably does stimulate a lot of processes that are meant to be stimulated now and then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. Kind of with you, kind of not. But
lots of comments here. I don't know if we want to go through all of them.
Yeah, read a couple. Then we'll go fast through the other ones.
Read a couple, as I said. Jeff Hudnall says, "Don't we only have one body? Wouldn't it? Oh, man, once you put it on the screen, I have trouble seeing it. Wouldn't it benefit you to just strive for your goals while you can? I train hard for goals that are now and not when I'm over 50."
Yeah,
interesting take.
But you only have one body in one life. Means if you use it up when you're, under 40, and then you're limping along until you're 70 or beyond, that's not good either. But I do get it. Like what's the point, right? If we're just trying to stay in shape and we're not doing anything with it, what are we staying in shape for?
Yeah. Lots of it's situational, which is my argument, really. This is Dale Stevens says there's cortisol issues and menopause and peri. I don't know what peri is. What's peri?
I think it's perimenopause. I think it's
okay.
I don't know what it means.
That could affect that. I think it depends on the person and listen to your body. Yeah. I mean, and that's Sydney T says exactly. There's time and place for it. I mean, I think that's what I'm trying to say is right. Like, especially as you're younger, but even as you're older, there's time and place for challenging yourself, pushing your body a little bit out of what would be considered normal training. And I think that can kind of enhance the level of quote unquote normal training that you can do afterwards.
Yeah, I think you're right. With this kind of stuff, pushing yourself to, extremes, if we're going to call them that, it's a trade-off, right? To be a pro athlete, or for example, or a very serious athlete in any sport, like you're doing things that are harmful to your longevity normally in order to be that good right now at your sport. And so if you're not that, you still got to deal with the same dynamic. And there's a certain amount of this pushing that probably is beneficial in the long run, but you also can go too far. And I don't know where the line is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. Number 2, you're neglecting stretching. It's not that interesting what they say about it. Stretching is stretching. People know what it is. They don't go to the length of talking about dynamic stretching versus static stretching, since probably every article besides this one does that. So we don't need to either. But I don't know. I believe in mobility stuff. I don't know that stretching is the specific component we need to be doing. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you there. Mobility should be the goal, really.
Yeah. 3, you're ignoring certain muscle groups. And certainly when I was a kid, I ignored muscle groups. I didn't care about squats and deadlifts. I just wanted to bench press for the most part. That was it. And I think almost every other college kid is exactly the same way. But now that I'm older, that's not a factor at all. But I guess this is for people below 50. So I guess if you were way below 50, you might still ignore muscle groups. Anyway, they say it causes an injury risk, and that's the problem. And I guess that's the theme here, is like you're trying to make it so that you don't destroy your body before you reach 50, right? It's not about failing to optimize your fitness now. It's about making mistakes that will make it down the road, way harder for you to be successful with whatever you're trying to do.
Right.
So don't ignore muscle groups, Doug. Although there's another
I'm trying, because I've like this whole pull-up thing, right? I've been ignoring my upper body and certainly the pull-up muscles my entire life. Now I'm trying to play catch up, and it's hard.
That's right. Now that you're over 50, it's too late.
No, I'm trying to do it before I'm 50.
All right, number 4, you're pushing through pain, Doug. This is pain is your body's way of telling you that something is wrong. Ignoring it can lead to serious injuries that take months or even years to heal. So, I mean, there's
no pain, no gain, Matt.
Right. I mean, it's true. And I don't know. I experience way less pain in my workouts now than I used to, even if it's lifting. And I think you can do it and be really effective. I don't know if I could have trained for marathons very effectively without having pain, you get to the point where every step hurts to just hurt your foot to land on. And that is your body saying stop.
I don't know. Is it your body saying stop, or is it your muscles just kind of breaking down, fatiguing? What I'm saying. No, listen. Like obviously, if you have a knee pain that's not going away, or something that's happening in your foot that's just not going away, right? And you're weeks, you're just dealing with the same issue. Right. Like that, of course, is pain that you need to address immediately, or it could cause some long-term pain. But like you go out for one run and your muscles get fatigued and they burn a little bit, like is that a bad thing?
I don't know. It's your body saying stop. I do think it is that. I mean, it's like that's why it hurts, right? It's not.
Yeah. Okay.
The pain is there for a reason. I think it's saying you can't keep doing this for very long. So I don't know. Maybe it doesn't mean stop immediately, but it means. But no, I get you. Like, there's obviously a difference between when you're injured and you keep going on that injury because you're just stubborn and you can't take time off or whatever. That's really bad. When it's just muscles are broken down and they're tired. But I don't know, like that running, like when you're at the end of I don't know, when you run 25 miles or something and it just, your feet just hurt to land on. That's not muscle pain, right? That's like
right. Well, joint pain or something.
Yeah. I mean, that's serious. Like you've gone too far, but like we said, you got to do it or else you lose some of that motivation maybe to get some more.
What about like a speed workout, right? Like just like your Tuesday training plan speed workout where you're running 800s.
Where it hurts but doesn't physically hurt. It just
right.
Really
you're not injured, but it hurts because you're tired and you're pushing yourself. Like, is that? I don't think they're talking about that here.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, but you're right. That still is the no pain, no gain mentality with that. So a little confusing here. But yeah, no, I think that's all. I think that's great. All right, number 5. You're only doing cardio. I don't know, Doug. I could have gotten on you for this one, but this is not your crime anymore.
No, it's not. And it was my crime for many years. I mean, this is good advice. I like this one.
Yeah. They say, let's see, muscle mass. That's the thing. Once you get over 50, the thing is, you're getting it for people before 50.
Right.
I mean, are you really destroying your body by not doing cardio before 50? I don't know about that. It seems like you're just not building muscle, but you can go, well, I mean, you do start to lose muscle as you get older. So I guess they're saying build it when you're younger.
Bone strength, right? I mean, the strength training builds the bone strength. It's good to both do that.
For sure. All right, 6, you're prioritizing weight over good form. Yeah, I mean, I do believe that. When I was a kid, though, or when I was in college, people who were just all form focused, like they couldn't lift anything because they couldn't get any gains because they were just too cautious and too conservative. So I don't know. I mean, it seems, I think there are times to not use good form, but obviously
I don't know.
You don't want to
I disagree with you on this one. I think which kind of goes against some of my other stuff, but I feel like you could, if you use the wrong form for too long, then you can definitely cause some longer term damage that when you're over 50 you're dealing with.
Yeah, that's true. If you actually get an injury, then that's a really bad thing. All right, number 7, you're not sleeping enough. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's destroying your body before you're 50 if you're not sleeping enough when you're younger. You probably do some irreparable damage, or at least damage that takes a long time to repair. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's more like just you're not going to even optimize your short-term training if you're not sleeping enough. You need that, or you'll get into the overtraining state. All right, number 8, you're forcing uncomfortable movements. Don't do things that are strange. You're better off sticking to movements that feel good to your muscles and joints. I don't know about this. My mom, for example, tried kettlebells for a little bit, for like 30 seconds, and she said her back didn't feel good, so she just stopped. She was done. And I said, like, it takes a while. You have to learn the form. You have to do it right. It's kind of a skill. Like, you need to learn it, and it's hurting because you're not doing it right at all. Now, the punchline here is that I ended up probably hurting my back with kettlebell swings. So it would have been better if I stopped. By the way, I still do 2-hand or 2-arm kettlebell swings. They don't have the twisting motion that I think was probably the cause of my problem. But I'd like to get back to doing the 1-arm actually. But like I said, it's a skill, and I didn't fully have it. So I don't know. I don't know if you should just avoid movements that don't feel that good. I think you maybe should learn how to do them.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I think that usually something might not feel good because you've neglected it. Maybe you're tight in a certain area or don't have a lot of strength in a certain area, and so that movement feels uncomfortable. That's all the reason why you should do it, I think, right? To kind of repair that or to build strength in that area. So I don't necessarily agree with this one. Also, if you have bad form habits like running, for example, or let's say swinging a golf club or something like that, like it's going to feel real uncomfortable to correct that, but that correction might be way better for you in the long term.
Right. All right, and finally, number 9, you're never switching up your strength training because your body quickly adapts to routine. If you do the same thing, it'll cause plateaus in your progress. They said the same thing about cardio, by the way. They said don't just keep doing the exact same kind of cardio, which is something we talked about before, that you'll kind of lose the benefit the more you do of the same thing. Yeah, I mean, this is true. Like the whole muscle, what's that thing called? Muscle confusion concept. That was who was that? You know that guy?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was a big infomercial thing, and it's famous guy. He's actually vegan, or he was vegan for a while. He didn't advertise that. Is it Beachbody? I don't know. I don't think it's Beachbody. I'll just Google it while we're talking. But anyway, your muscles don't really get confused, right? Your muscles don't have brains. They don't really get confused. It's not like that, but your brain does get confused. And your brain, you have to learn to recruit new muscle fibers to do different activities. Yeah, I think this is a very good thing. I mean, it's very hard to argue against this. You're not going to get as skilled at any one specific activity if you keep mixing it up. But for almost everybody, that's okay. It's way better to mix it up. In fact, I have been trying to design training programs for my son, who's a soccer player, and figure out what's best to do at what ages. And as I've learned more about it, it's basically that the younger you are, the more large variety of things you need to be doing so that your body can be learning all these specific movements for an athlete, including ones that aren't really necessarily part of your sport right now. But you just want to like teach your brain to handle all different types of ways of landing on the ground and jumping off the ground and all these different things. And as you get older, once you start to specialize more in your sport or whatever, then obviously you're going to pick the movements that really matter. But when you're younger, you really want to mix it up. So I suppose this is, maybe more relevant for people under 50 than over, but it's hard to say that someone older than 50 also shouldn't be mixing up their movements.
Yeah. Yeah. Tony Horton. P90X.
P90X, of course.
Thank you, Tammy. Yeah. So, I'm poking fun at some of these, and I don't necessarily agree with all of them, but I think in general, this reflects pretty well the shifts that both of us have made in our training and our fitness recently, from more specialized single activities to kind of incorporating different types of workouts and different types of training and strength and cardio, and not overdoing it and thinking more of the long-term benefits and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, yeah, I have some issues with some of them, but in general, I think it's good.
Yeah. And what you're saying about us changing, we were before, I think on this No Meat Athlete Radio, and we titled it, are we, getting lame or something, or is this the path to sustainable fitness? Because like we've both just sort of like stopped pushing so hard with different stuff and like, thinking about the longer term. As I've thought a little bit about this new book, which I'm not going to tell any more about because it's such a new thing. I've looked a lot at like what influencers are saying and health, and like there's just so much crap that is given by people. And we talked about this, I think maybe yesterday, the idea that like if you're a content creator, like you do a crazy diet because it's going to create good content for you. So you become, or maybe it was 2 days ago, you become the person who drinks their own pee as part of their vegan diet, so that you have that now to talk about. And that guy, I think his name's Timothy Sheath or something. That's like his thing. He's known as the pee drinking guy, which can't be a great thing. Like when he goes to his wife's parents' house or something, like the pee drinking guy. But
I went viral today. What for? Oh man, I was chugging my own piss.
But like, there's, I don't know. The advice that is given by almost everyone on the internet is extreme in some way because that's what's interesting.
That's how you get attention,
like, yeah, but it doesn't mean that's what's smart at all. And it could mean the opposite of that. So I think that's why for me, I've as you get older, you get wiser, you realize this sort of thing, and you find things that are just much more sustainable than that, even though they're much less interesting perhaps to talk about and think about. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with going down this road, even though it's maybe a little less controversial and exciting.
Matt, I got a new segment for us.
Okay.
We should have a segment where we just call out our fellow Instagram influencers. Not that we qualify as Instagram influencers, but we call out we call out Instagram influencers for do you think?
Okay, and we say their names and we tag them and try to get them to come on the show and debate us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That'd be good.
Really, just go to war with everybody on the web.
Yeah. I mean, that is a strategy. It's certainly one people use. Don't know if that's for us, but really, I mean, it would work. All right, Sydney T says that reminds me of the book Range. I have the book Range, and I have meant to read it, but I really have not gotten anywhere with it. It's the idea that learning a whole bunch of broad skills is probably better than focusing on one skill all the time. And I think pendulum has swung back in favor of that way of thinking from where I'd say in the past 20, 30 years, it's been much more the idea, especially like with youth sports, like you should focus on this one thing only. But yeah, there are a lot of overlap and ideas and analogies, and you can learn one skill in one context and bring it over to this other place and be very special kind of performer if you have other influences. All right, somebody says that guy got cut out from Jamie Oliver's YouTube channel real quick. I don't know who that is.
I think that might have been Tony Horton.
Oh, not the urine drinking guy.
No.
Okay. Good. All right. So yeah, that is that. That's it. We've got our Discord still going. Doug, are we updating the link now and then? We haven't really been advertising.
No, I changed the link so we don't have to update it until we get bombed with bots. And then we'll have to just shut the whole thing down. But
yeah, I know. I don't know what is going to happen soon, and we're not prepared for it. I don't know what to do when it does.
But it's steadily growing, and it's fun. It's super fun to see that engagement in there.
It is fun. Get over there and tell us what kind of content you like, because like I texted Doug this morning or messaged him and said, I don't know what to do about the show, like topics, because it's like we can get the weather report, but then once we get to the article of the day, like I said, I'm just kind of tired of talking about these same food topics. And so we're trying to mix in a little fitness and things now. But I don't know. We just need to know what people like and what you want to hear us talk about, whether topics or formats or whatever. You know, get over there and there's a whole channel where you can suggest things or just put it in the general, whatever. But feedback is good. So let us know what you like and what you don't, including if you're a podcast listener and you're not here live, especially including you, because we're not getting your opinion otherwise. So go to nomadeathlete.com/Discord and sign up, get in there. It's friendly. You can share pictures, you can share recipes, all that kind of stuff, which people are doing. I made a pasta with vodka sauce over my spring break that someone had shared in there, and it was very good.
I want to say, don't be intimidated by a new app or a new platform, Discord, if you've never used it before. So I was talking to somebody about the Discord the other day, and they were like, yeah, I just would never do that because I don't want to have to learn a new app. It's super easy. And you can turn off notifications. You can do all the stuff that it's not going to drive you crazy. Join the Discord. You won't regret it.
And it has good GIFs over there, someone said.
Way better
than the GIF library. You can any phrase you want, you can find that phrase written over somebody from a movie doing some sort of movement that makes it funny. So get over there. What more reason do you need than that?
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, let's wrap up here. Happy Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of it. We'll be back on Thursday, my favorite day. And that's it. We'll keep bringing the heat.
I'm excited to hear if Thursday will continue to be your favorite day if alcohol is not involved. We'll have to talk about that tomorrow.
It's not Thursday. Thursday is your day. For me, it's not a. I have a very evenly spaced out drinking, and I just don't want to give it up on the weekends. I feel like I at least need that weekend chance to celebrate. So Thursday not impacted by the drinking.
Okay, I am. That's my day.
What are you gonna do with your band practice? What if you're terrible at drums now?
I probably am. All right, everybody. Okay. Lots to talk about later this week.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks for joining. We'll see you next week. See you tomorrow.